Hey y'all, it's me, Marty. I know I'm weird. Hey, come a little closer. I know you got the sound of my truck in the background, so hopefully you can hear me. So, I hope you're all doing well today. I thought I would do a video today. So, I am going to do something I've done a few times and just have a little video, a little ramble about the scroll saw and why I think you should give scroll saw woodworking a try. So I've made many videos in the past through the years, the last 12, 13 years on YouTube, talking about the scroll saw, showing what it could do and just different things like that. But I thought I'd do an updated one. So yeah, I hope you enjoy this. So a couple of things here before we get started. Where am I? Where am I? Actually, I was going to look it up for sure, but I'm at a rest area on I-39 in Wisconsin between Madison and Portage. Or no, between Portage and Stevens Point. Yeah, I'm north of Portage. Anyway, beautiful rest area here. Lots of woods. By the way, I might go for a little hike. Oh, yeah. Food in my tooth. Just had lunch. Anywho, and I'm parked here for the day, for the evening. I'm unloading my sweet taters in Wisconsin Rapids tomorrow morning. And I called to see if I could get in early today. It's Sunday afternoon. I actually called them this morning because I was here. And I'm only like 40 minutes away from where I'm unloading, but they said, nope, we're way behind. Don't come in until tomorrow morning. And they said, you'll probably be here all day tomorrow too. So that's fine. It's all God's in control, and I just roll with it. So it's the trucking life, I tell you. Anywho, so when I have downtime, especially when it's at a rest area, just try to do what I can, make the best use of my time, and I have things to do in the truck, and different things, and and just to do stuff outside. And fall is just around the corner, but it's still summer. It's like 72 today, but it's starting to cool off. It's coming tomorrow, September 1st. Yes, I love fall and winter. It's coming. Anyway, sorry to ramble about all that, but that's where I'm at. So this video is going to be, I'm just going to tell you everything I know about the scroll saw. Maybe show some pictures up here, probably right here, of just different things, my scroll saws through the years, some pictures, things I've made, different things, yeah, and we'll see. This might be one of those days where I do 2 or 3 or 4 videos, because I'm thinking about doing a canteen cup cooking meal today. I'm thinking about going for a little hike or a little ramble in the woods. Might do a video there too. And I have this tent that I've had for a while that I've never set up, that I want to try to set up maybe and try to do something unique with it. So there could be 4 videos today, but at least 1. So we're on this one here. Sorry to ramble. I know I probably already lost a lot of people, but okay. So I want to do a shout out first. So I have a lot of favorite YouTubers that I like to watch. I don't like TV really. I don't want to watch a lot of TV, but YouTube is my TV. 2 main areas that I like to watch on YouTube: woodworking and outdoor adventures. And there's a lot of things within both of those, but yeah. So I have a lot of favorite woodworking YouTubers, and I'll talk about some of them in a little bit too. And then I have like outdoor channels that I really like. One of my favorites is Really Big Monkey 1. It's Dave from Georgia. Please check out his channel and his videos. He's got, I think, over 300 videos the last 15 years. Super guy. He does a lot of outdoor adventure videos, a lot of DIY, like cook kits and grills and stuff, and shelters. He has a lot of knowledge. He likes military surplus stuff, and he's just really a nice guy. And I've never met him, but I've talked to him through the channel and stuff. But he did a video yesterday or the day before, saying he's taking a little break, like a lot of us do. I kind of slowed down. But a lot of us, most of us, we have full-time jobs, and this is just a hobby. I don't make money from YouTube. It's just a hobby, and I work 70, 80 hours a week driving a truck. That's what I'm doing right now. My truck's right here. There's my truck. Yep. Anywho, okay, now that's all off. Oh well, I'm a little off, but in a good way, right? Anyway, so yeah, so, and a lot of times, we just need a break from making videos because it's a lot of work and stuff, so he's taking a little break. So I encourage you to go watch his older videos. He's got over 300, just like me. I got over 600 videos. If you like a YouTuber, go watch their older videos. If you like a TV show, you go watch the other seasons, right? He has lots of great videos. Please go watch his videos. They're super, and you can comment and he'll answer. Super guy. Check out his videos and his channel. And yeah, just a little shout out for my friend Dave. He's taking a little break, but he'll be back. He has a lot of plans for lots of different videos, but he works a lot and has a busy life and other responsibilities. So he's just slowing down a little bit. So go watch his other videos, please, and like his channel. So, okay, before I just share this is just my 2 cents, okay? This is just my opinions, okay? I don't know everything. I don't know a lot, really. I've been woodworking and scrollsawing for about 33 years or so now. I'm still an amateur. I'm still learning. I'm always learning. Again, I love to teach, but I love to learn too, and I'll always be learning. And I'm just an amateur. I'm just learning, just like in all of life, every area, really. I'm just learning. I'm just fumbling along the way, trying to follow Jesus and just seeking Him every day. But so yeah, this is just my 2 cents. But okay, so I'm going to tell you a bunch of things I know about the scroll saw. Okay, a few things here. We're going to talk about why I think you should give scroll saw woodworking a try. What is a scroll saw? What's a little bit of history of it? What are some of the parts of a scroll saw? What are some things you can make on a scroll saw? Just some safety things about it. I'll talk about all the different accessories that are good to have with a scroll saw. How it's different from other tools. I'm also going to talk about what do I got here on my list? I got a cheat sheet here. This is actually my list from the last video I did. It's all the same stuff pretty much, but I'm going to expand on it a little bit. Maybe this will be more exciting. I don't know. But also I'm going to talk about where you can get patterns and plans, books and magazines, forums and YouTubers and places, stores to buy different woodworking or wood and scroll saws and blades and all the different things. So we're going to go through all that. So yeah, okay, so why do I think that you should give scroll saw woodworking a try? Well, maybe I don't. Maybe it's not for everybody, but anybody can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. And it's simple, it's basic, it's one of the safest tools you can use. It's great for kids to learn. You know, I teach kids, I've taught kids, I've taught kids in schools and in our church many times. Matter of fact, next Sunday, a week from today, we're having our youth group over to our house, and I'm going to teach some woodworking and some scroll sawing, so it'll be a lot of fun. So kids can learn it, adults can learn it, anyone can learn it, men and women. It's a fun, creative form of woodworking. It's a affordable way to get into woodworking. You can do it anywhere, really. I'm sitting outside my truck. I was doing some scroll sawing a little bit ago. It's not that big a tool, and you can use small pieces, cutoffs and stuff to make wonderful works of art and stuff. You know, if you need a hobby, if you want to get into woodworking, if you're interested in scroll sawing, you know, this might be the thing for you. Yeah, if you're a professional carpenter or cabinet maker, or a scroll saw maybe isn't something that you need or whatever, but might be a nice outlet after building cabinets and building houses all day to just sit and make some Christmas ornaments, So it's really a fun tool. So okay, so I gotta look at my list here. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna put that down on the ground. I don't have another table here. So trucks coming in and out. So hopefully you can hear me. Hopefully the lighting is good. The sun is going down behind the trees behind me. So, okay, a little bit of history. I'm just basically going to read off of what I had last time. But, so there's a lot of videos out there. There's websites, books. You can learn more about scroll sawing and all the history about it and all the different things. But I'm just going to give you a little bit to think about, something to chew on, get your brain working and your gears turning, and for you to get ideas and to learn and investigate it more. Okay, a little bit of history of the scroll saw. In the 1500s, a German craftsman designed fine, narrow blades, and he had a saw, a bracket, a brace or whatever that would hold that blade, really skinny blade. And I'll show you the blade here in a minute. But and you'd sit there and you can go up and down, and you could, it's basically like today's coping saw, but you could go up and down and you could cut things out of wood and make creative designs and stuff. So he made that blade, and then somebody else made the holder, and you know, there's a lot. I guess I'm just giving you a few tidbits. There's a lot more history into it. You can actually, there's a couple of really good websites and YouTube channels that have lots of history, so check them out. But I'm just giving you a little bit here. In 1642, Andrea Charles Boulet designed a hand frame to hold those blades. Well, there you are, right there. I forgot what I even wrote down here. So yeah, he made that. In 1829 was the first patent in Britain, the Macduff scroll saw. 1860s, the first scroll saws were brought to America, or made in America. In the 1920s, scroll saws were being mass produced. And the first ones are really big and heavy, gigantic ones. And they were used more for architecture on houses and expensive furniture things and stuff like that. Some of the first manufacturers were Barnes, Hobby, New Rogers, Star, and Leicester. I'm trying to read my own writing here. Those were some of the first manufacturers. And then, more recent, Delta, my favorite, Rockwell, Craftsman, Dremel, Black & Decker, Skill, Hegner, RBI, Jet, Grizzly, Shopbox, DeWalt, Excalibur, Ryobi, Proxon, Central Machinery, Bauer. Both of those are basically Harbor Freight. Rikon, Bosch, Wen, Pegasus, whatever. I don't know which one. King, Makita, Porter Cable, and Seiko. And they range in sizes as far as the depth of the scroll saw, from like 16 inches. Actually, there's a 15-inch Delta. I have one of those. All the way up to like 30 inches. And I think they just keep getting bigger. I don't get the reason for that. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but there's different ones. Then there's different types of scroll saws, right? Okay, there's the rigid arm, there's a C-arm, there's a parallel arm, there's a double parallel arm. And they're different designs of how the scroll saw works. I believe this is I think this is a parallel arm that I have here. And I'm going to show you this scroll saw in a minute here. But there's some different parts of the scroll saw. The upper and lower arm, the table, the motor, the switches, the blade holders, the dust blower, the blade guard, the hold down. Yeah, the hold down, the tension knob, different things like that. Different parts of the scroll saw there. I'm going to back up here a little bit so you can see this scroll saw. Okay, so a few things about brands. Well, okay, I'll just go into this real quick. You can go buy a new scroll saw. I think I've seen them brand new as low as 75 bucks. And they're okay, you know. Or what I think is a better deal, buy a used one. You know, buy a used one for 75 bucks or even 50 bucks or even 25 bucks or 100 bucks. And you're getting a scroll saw, an older one, that's probably worth $300, $400, $500 or more. It's just my personal opinion, but I would rather buy a good used scroll saw that's older, and we're talking 10, 20 years old, but they made them better back then. So you can get a better scroll saw that's used than a brand new cheap one. That's just my personal opinion, but I really like Delta. I'm not going to get into brands. I don't like the... Nobody's paying me for this. I just like Delta. I have a bunch of Delta scroll saws, and I like the Delta tools. But there's a lot of great brands. A lot of the ones I mentioned are really good. But I like the Delta. This is actually a Shopmaster SM600. Okay, so this is a Delta Shopmaster. Quick little ditty here. Ditty? Isn't that more like a song? I'm not going to sing in this video. I do that enough, and you don't like me singing. Some of you like me singing, I know, but I'm not going to sing today. But there is a line of Delta, which is the Shopmaster line, is a cheaper, more affordable line. As a matter of fact, Walmart started carrying them, table saws and miter saws, which is really cool. And they have scroll saws too. I have a whole bunch of Delta scroll saws. Okay, I have an 18-inch one, a big one, and a 16-inch in my wood shop, and then in my extension of my wood shop, the garage next door. I think I have 10 or 12 other scroll saws that I picked up anywhere from 5 to 25, 30 bucks. You can get them on Facebook Marketplace. We'll talk about that too in a minute, but I got a whole bunch of them. Over probably half of them are Delta, and they're all, I think I have a 15 inch, a bunch of 16 inch ones. I think I have another 18 inch, and then I have some Craftsman. That's probably my second favorite brand, because they're affordable and they work good and they're simple, and you don't have to get real expensive. Now, okay, so basically a thrifty budget scroll saw is going to be like $100, middle of the line, and so that would be Harbor Freight, Wen, some of those, Ryobi, whatever. Middle of the road would be more like $400 or $500. Delta, DeWalt, some of those. Then you get up to $1,000 or $1,500 or whatever. Hagner, RBI. I don't know if they even do those anymore, but they used to be the expensive ones years ago. Now I think it's Pegasus, King, Excalibur, some of those really fancy saws, but you don't need a fancy one. I started with a cheap Craftsman. Yeah, it kind of had it shook and made a lot of noise, and the blade holder was terrible, but I still liked it. It got me in scrolling, and then I got better ones through the years. So I've bought quite a few through the years in the last 30 years, probably about 40 or 50 scroll saws, but 3/4 of them I bought for 2 schools that I worked in, and I taught scroll saw woodworking to the kids there, and then I just left them at those 2 schools. And then I had, like I say, I have like 10 or 12 at home right now. But the only brand new one I bought was a DeWalt, and I had that for 10 years and sold it. But I like the older Deltas and stuff. So, but yeah. So anyway, the Shopmaster series, they're actually pretty good. This one is a 16 inch, and this is one of my favorite Deltas. Works great. Everything about it. It cuts really nice. The blade holder, the dust blower, the tension, the table, everything. It cuts smooth. It's quiet. It's the cheaper line of Delta, and it's still a great saw. So I'm telling you, yeah. So basically, you're looking here. Here, let's get you a little closer here. Just show you a little bit of the saw. And you can see how small it is. It doesn't take up much room. You can start scroll sawing in basically a closet in your house or your basement, or in your garage, or in a shed, or if you have a shop. It doesn't take up much room. This thing's about 2 feet long by about 1 foot wide. Not even that. Maybe 1 foot high. It makes dust, of course. It makes a little noise, but it's not real loud, and it doesn't make a lot of dust. So it's a good one to start with. It's a good hobbyist. It's a very creative tool. So when you start it, and I don't have it plugged in, I'm away from my truck right now, but this arm goes up and down, and so there's a 6-inch blade in here. 6 inch? Or is it 5 inch? How do I know that? No, it's 5 inches, isn't it? Yeah, I think it's 5 inch. Anyway, and this is an Olson number 5 PGT reverse skip blade. It's one of my favorites. I like Olson blades. I like Flying Dutchman blades, but there's a lot of other great ones out there too. Again, everything I say is just my 2 cents. But this has a really nice blade holder. I love the Delta blade holders. They don't make them anymore, so if you can find them, pick them up. It's worth buying the saw just for the blade holder. Once you set the tension, is all you do is flip that lever to put it in. The 2 scroll saws I have in my shop, I have a quick release. This is called a quick release, quick set 2 or something it was called. And I have one on the top and the bottom. This one I have to use a wrench on the bottom, but this is really good. Most scroll saws today, just so you know, they have a thumb screw and they work fine. I just like this. But if you get really old scroll saws, they get a little bit harder to use and you need a wrench to change the blades. Car hauler coming in here. Ooh, wow. Somebody's getting a nice Jeep. Anywho. So yeah, so I just like that blade holder, but the tension is really nice. So basically, once you get the blade in there, you put the blade in the bottom, and then, if you're going to do inside cuts, you just connect it here and you thread your workpiece over it to do the inside cut, and then you rehook it up. So, once you got this tension here on that size blade, you just flip that lever and it holds it really tight. Then you have an adjustment up here. You turn that, and then you flip this, and that makes it tight. And I think it's like a B minor or a C major. No, a C major. No, what is it? see. I don't know music, but anywho, and you know, so then there's a dust blower here, and the dust blower is adjustable. You can raise it up, you can raise it down. You know, there's a nice table here. It's about a 12-inch round table. There's a insert here, a metal insert that comes out, because then it's easier to see that when you're putting the blade in the bottom. A lot of new saws don't have these, but I like them. I like the removable insert. The switch is on the side here, and this is the variable speed, and the motor's on the side here. That's basically it. Now when you get a scroll saw, it's going to come with a hold down and a guard. I'm not telling you to take them off. Use your guards on all your tools, okay? But I take mine off of every single scroll saw, and here's why. Because I can't really see with the guard and the hold down in the way. It's in the way. I'd rather have nothing in the way. I just want the blade there. Okay, I want to be able to see it. But I am very careful, and I teach safety when I teach it to kids and others. I'd rather be very careful than to have guards on here. You know, you're still going to get your finger in the blade. The guard's not going to keep it from going in the blade. The hold down, you don't have to have a hold down. You can just hold the wood down yourself. And yeah, so I take them all off. Every single scroll saw I've ever had. I've been doing it over 30 years. I've cut my finger twice, I think, and it was just a little tiny nick. And it had nothing to do with not having a guard on. But it's all up to you if you want to keep your guards on or not. Use your guards and your hold downs for your scroll saws and your tools. I just take mine off because it gets in the way. I'd rather just be really safe. A couple things when you're scrolling. Let's say this is your wood. The blade goes up and down, and you have a pattern on your board. So to cut that pattern, you have to turn the wood. You feed it in straight into the blade. You turn the wood so that it follows the pattern line. That's how you cut on the scroll saw. And again, I'm not doing a demo today. I've done that in many other videos. I have a whole scroll sawing playlist, a woodworking playlist. Please go check out those videos. And there's lots of other people on YouTube that you can watch too. I'm just showing you. So yeah, you push it in and you turn the wood so the blade follows the line, the pattern line. Keep your fingers away from the blade on the sides. Go really slow. Let the blade do the work. Take your time. You know, and just be safe. So yeah, that's just some of the parts of the scroll saw. Okay, get a little bit closer here now. So, hope you're learning something. I'm learning something here. Just reading through all this again. Okay, let's see. So, yeah. Again, why the scroll saw? What's some materials? What's some materials you can do on the scroll saw? You can cut wood on the scroll saw, of course. But you can also cut metal, glass, plastic, steak, chocolate. I have a video a few years ago. My wife made really good fudge, but it was hard as a rock. I cut it on the scroll saw. I did. There's a video of that. Sorry, it was good though. Such good fudge, but it was hard as a rock. But just cut it like butter. Butter, I'm telling you. Again, it's a safe tool. It's creative. It's affordable. You know, it's a small size, so you can do it anywhere. You know, just so cool. Okay, what are some things you can do on the scroll saw? Okay, now I'm gonna probably just show you a whole bunch of pictures here as I'm talking, or maybe I'll do it at the end. I'm not sure. At some point in this video, I'm gonna show you a lot of different things I've made throughout the years. I'm telling you, there's thousands of different types of things you can do on the scroll saw, and every one of those categories, I guess, has all different options and sizes and shapes and different. It's a plethora of things you can do on the scroll saw. I like to say I'm plethora every once in a while. It sounds like I'm a English major or something. I can barely speak English, to be honest with you. But, okay, some of the things you can do. Simple cutouts, right? Just simple cutouts. I'm doing a whole bunch of cutouts. I got to do that when I get home this week. Cutting out like apples and a dog and just a cross, a fish. Different heart, different shapes and animals and different things, just simple cutouts. And they're for our Harvest Fest at the end of September at our church, and they're for kids to paint, and then they get to take them home. simple cutouts. But then you can take those cutouts and turn them into puzzles. You can make puzzles, you know. Fretwork, which is when you get better, fretwork has all kinds of inside cuts, and they're kind of a decorative thing. Those are really pretty. I haven't done many of those through the years, but I've done some, but I don't like a lot of inside cuts, and I'm not crazy about fretwork. I like simpler ones. I'm a simple guy. I'm a simple man. Every time I say simple, I got to do that. And I don't know if that's a song or if I'm just trying to be weird. And I'm weird anyway. Y'all know, you know that I'm weird, but I'm a good weird, I think. I hope. Anywho, yeah, segmentation. So segmentation is you take a piece of pine or whatever, and you put the pattern on there, and it looks like a puzzle basically, and you cut it out. And there's all these different pieces that fit together, the same wood, but then you paint each piece differently. That's segmentation. Like that is intarsia. Intarsia is kind of the same thing. You have a picture and you divide it into different sections, and you cut all those pieces. But all those pieces are cut out of different kinds of wood, and then you just put it all together and glue it and do a clear coat. And intarsias are really fun. Someday when I have more time on my hands, which I don't know if will ever happen, but I'd like to do more intarsia. I like them. You can make toys and games. You can make wall art, desk art, useful items, puzzle boxes, jewelry, custom orders, you know, for people, personalized items. You're gonna do inlay and marquetry. So many different things. It's unbelievable all the different things you can do on the scroll saw. All kinds of different decorations and fun things and things that you know, that are just unique and beautiful. They're smaller than cabinets or furniture. They're different than clothing or different things you would buy. You know, it's a creative thing. It's a fun thing. It's a unique thing. You give somebody a scroll sawn wood decoration or a useful item, and that's a wonderful gift. They might say, "This is amazing. Where did you get this?" And you say, "I made it." You know, and it's just kind of fun. But yeah, that's just some of the things you can make on the scroll saw. What kind of, well, some different places you could buy scroll. Okay, so Menards is my favorite store. Again, I'm not promoting anything here. It's my favorite store. I really like Menards. They got everything, and it's kind of a hometown great store. Really good deals on wood, tools, all that. I really like Menards. And so Menards, Fleet Farm, Home Depot, Lowe's, all those places, you know, you can buy scroll saws, you can buy wood, you can buy scroll saw blades at all those different stores. Rockler and Woodcraft too, they're more specialized woodworking stores. Of course, they're not selling scroll saws like they used to. Lasers and all those, which are great too in their own way. Those are more what they sell now. A lot of places don't even sell scroll saws anymore, but I still like the scroll saw because it's all done by hand and it's just fun. But lasers do have their place. I don't have a laser, but they're amazing tools too. But yeah, there's just a few stores. Different woods that I like to use making things on the scroll saw: pine, poplar, mahogany, walnut, oak, maple, cherry, box elder, alder, birch, and ash. Poplar is my go-to wood because it's a little bit more solid and tighter grain than pine. Has less cracks and knots, and it cuts really nice on the scroll saw. It paints really good. You know, I like to make. Sorry, gotta pick my nose here. I'll edit that out. Sorry. I like to make cutouts and puzzles and names for kids, and then they can paint them. So poplar is really good for that. I like to use poplar for making Jesus words and joys and smiles and the peace and the different things that I like to make because it's a whiter wood. I just like that. So poplar is my go-to wood. If I'm making nicer things, I really like birch. Yellow birch is probably one of my favorite ones to cut. I like maple, cherry, because they're tight grain. I do use oak too, and mahogany and walnut. They're just a little bit coarser grain, so you gotta be careful. But yeah, that's just some of the woods I use. Now there's a lot of magazines and books out there. So years ago, I used to get Creative Woodworks and Crafts. That was the first scroll saw magazine I ever got, and I still have a lot of the back issues. They don't publish them anymore, but you can find back issues. Great magazine. I still really like that magazine. Lots of great patterns, but there's also like stories that go with the patterns and stuff, and projects, and they show pictures and everything. The newer one is Scrollsaw Workshop or Scrollsaw Woodworking and Crafts. They changed the name, I think, but anyway, that's a more recent one. Well, that started in, so Creative Woodworks and Crafts, I think, started in the late 80s and went to about late 90s, early 2000 or so. Scrollsaw Workshop started in like 2000 or 2001, and they're still in print. And I think I have the first issue and the most recent issue of both magazines, but I like those. Some other books, well, then there's wood, Scrollsaw patterns, there's some other Scrollsaw pattern books out there, and there's some really old ones out there too. We'll talk about that too. Antique patterns, older patterns. I'm at a rest area, so forgive the noise here and there. Some authors that make some really good books. Patrick Spielman, Judy Gale Roberts, John Nelson, Dirk Bowman, Tom Zeig, Sue May, Wayne and Jacob Fowler, Diana Thompson. Those are just some authors that do woodworking books, and specifically Scrollsawing books, so check them out. Some of my favorite YouTubers. Okay, and I had a couple I forgot on the list last time, so one of the first channel I ever, there's a bug. One of the first channels I ever watched was Steve Ramsey, Woodworking for Mere Mortals. And he does all kinds of woodworking, and he was pretty small when I first started watching him, like 2013, and now he's like, I don't know, 2 million subscribers. Great guy, a really cool channel, check him out. Woodworking for Mere Mortals. And then Stumpy Nubs, Carmichael's Workshop, Size Corner, Wendell Woodworks, Die Love Spoons, Gwinnett Woodworkers, SD Good, which is Steve Good. He also has a website with really great patterns, thousands of really good patterns. Wood Magazine, Scrollsaw Village, Scrollsaw Corner, the Woodworkers Guild of America or Scrollsaw Guild of America, one of those, I think there's two of them. Russell's Woodshed, Fabian's Tiny Workshop, Who's the Boss, Jenny and Davis, Carpenter's Daughter, Worth the Effort, Fisher's Workshop, great guy. 731 Woodworks, another great guy. Eric Rote, another great guy. Really good woodworking YouTube channels. Some of them are specifically Scrollsawing, some of them are a lot of other things. So those are just some YouTube channels where you can learn more about Scrollsawing. So there used to be forums out there too. I think there still is. I think they're still out there. Before YouTube and Facebook, there was forums online, and I think they're still there. Lumberjocks is a really good one. Scrollsaw Village, Sawmill Creek. Just some forums where you can talk back and forth with other scrollsawyers and woodworkers, and they're great. I love them. I used to be on them all the time. More modern would be Facebook groups, and there's a lot of great ones out there. One of the best ones, 731 Woodworks Community, I think it's called. And so Matt Outlaw has his YouTube channel, 731 Woodworks. I think they're from Arkansas, him and his wife Amy. But he set up this page on Facebook. It's a community, and there's people sharing all projects and different things and stuff. So that's a really cool page. You can just look at pictures and get ideas. We'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, so there's all kinds of. You can just put in Scrollsaw Woodworking, Scrollsaw for Beginners. There's all kinds of Facebook groups for Scrollsaw Woodworking, and you can get ideas. You can talk to people and stuff. It's really fun. So that's more modern. So yeah, there's forums, there's YouTube channels, there's Facebook groups, lots of ways where you can learn more about Scrollsawing, as well as read books and magazines, stuff like that. Let's see. Okay, some where to get patterns. Okay, so there's a lot of different places you can get patterns. Of course, you can get patterns from books and magazines. You can also buy them online. I've done that before. People are always looking for free stuff, and yeah, I've gotten some free, but I've paid for some too. All the books and magazines I've got, I paid for. So yeah, buy them. Go out there. But there is a lot of free ones out there too. So yeah, look online. Tons of free patterns. And actually, if you need a pattern, you want to cut out an apple on the scroll saw. You want to do a cutout or a puzzle or a decoration that's the shape of an apple. Just Google apple clip art, black and white clip art, and there's can get thousands of different ones, and you can print them off and you can tweak them, whatever. There's tons of free patterns out there, specifically woodworking, specifically Scrollsawing, or just do clip art. Google clip art of whatever you want, and you'll get pictures and stuff. And you can trade. I made it my new Christmas ornament for 2025. I traced it on my phone. I got a pattern. I traced it to make a pattern, and then I tweaked it to my own. I like to kind of make it my own. Sometimes I totally make it up. This year I used one that I've seen, but I tweaked it for my own and stuff. I just traced it on my phone because I couldn't print it out. You know, look at other people, what other people are doing, and then make it your own. I'm really big on not doing what everybody's doing and being different. Even if it's something everybody's doing, you know, do your own version of it. Make it a little different. Add things to it. Make it a different size, different whatever. So yeah, there's tons of free scroll saw patterns out there. Also, look in coloring books, stained glass window books. You know, patterns. Look on signs when you're going down the highway. You'll get ideas for scroll saw patterns. Make up your own designs. Combine patterns together. There's tons of places to get patterns. Yeah. Okay. Where are we here? So then some different things. Attaching patterns to your wood. Everybody's different on this, but I like to make templates. Okay. So I have a lettering template that I made out of tempered hardboard, 1/8 inch tempered hardboard or regular hardboard. It's like $10 a sheet, 4x8 sheet at Menards or Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever. And you can make hundreds of patterns. I have hundreds, if not thousands of patterns I made through the years, because then you just take the pattern and trace it on wood. I love doing that. But what most people do is they'll use paper patterns, okay? And I do that if it's a more complicated pattern or if I'm only going to do it once. Then you attach the pattern to the wood. You could use a glue stick. You could use spray adhesive. You could use double-faced tape. You could also put blue painter's tape on the wood, then put the adhesive on, then the pattern. That comes off easier. You know, there's all different ways to put your patterns on the wood. It's some work. So I like to use templates. You just trace it on there. There's no glue or paper or patterns or any of that stuff. That's just the way I like to do it. But there's many different ways to put patterns on your wood. Finishing pieces, you know, what I do for most of my things, again, it's all little stuff. Christmas ornaments, Jesus words, wall decorations, puzzles, toys, games, little things. You know, I've used Danish oil, tung oil. They look really nice. I've stained some things. If they're small, like Christmas ornaments, I'll dip them in stain or dip them in tung oil. Or a lot of times I'll just use spray. A spray clear coat sealer, Helmsman or Deft or Varathane or Poly, but with things and there's a bunch of different brands out there. Just do a spray sealer, a clear coat on it, whatever you want. There's all different ways. I just lightly sand them. You know, it's, yeah. And there's other things too that I haven't done too much that you can do. You can do stack cutting, where you, especially if you're doing thin stuff, like let's say you're doing 1/4 inch plywood. I don't use plywood for anything, but I know a lot of people do. I use hardwoods, softwoods for everything. My Christmas ornaments are 1/4 inch oak, cherry, birch, maple. I like that. I like solid wood. But a lot of people use plywood. So you can take like 3 pieces of 1/4 inch plywood or 3 pieces of 1/4 inch wood and use spray sealer, double face tape, nails, whatever, attach them together. So they're like one board, but it's 3 of them. And then you cut the pattern out, cut the Christmas ornament out. Then you carefully take them apart and you have 3 of them. And you only cut 1, but you got 3 out of it. That's stack cutting. I've done it. I have never had much luck with it. I like to do things one at a time. I'm never in a big hurry. I don't sell stuff anymore. It's just not worth it to try to sell. I like to make gifts. So, but stack cutting is one thing you could do. You know, there's different. You can do bevel cutting. I've done a couple of videos on that where you tilt your saw and you can do bevel cutting. There's some really cool things you can do on that. I got a couple videos on that. Again, check out my scroll saw playlist, 100 videos. Same with woodworking if you want. Again, check out all the other woodworkers too, because they have all that stuff. If you're going to sell your work, a couple of tips. I shouldn't give tips because I've never been good at it, but make sure you check out copyrights. Don't try to sell Disney stuff or Pepsi stuff. There's copyrights on a lot of that stuff. So make sure you check into that. You know, don't sell somebody else's patterns or other project, you know, stuff like that. Just be careful of copyright stuff, and don't lowball, don't undersell. You know, just put a price on something and keep it there. And if you can't get that, don't sell it. That's what every store does. They don't bargain and let people bring their prices down. You're not making money then. Just decide on a price and put your prices high. This is handcrafted work, woodworking. So keep your prices at decent, and that's my thing. I'm not going to sell something if I can't get something decent. There's a thing about giving people good deals and stuff, but that makes it hard for everybody else, you know. And let's say you're retired or whatever, and you don't have to make much money on it. Well, but it's hard for everybody else to sell them who maybe wants to make a living doing it. If you got it, your price is so low, and get what they're worth, you know. So yeah. Dust collection, most scroll saws have a dust collection port. This one doesn't, but a lot of them do. You can put a shop vac up. That helps. You know, I have a fan usually blowing. They don't make a lot of dust. I don't have dust collection in my shop. Like I said the other day, my shop is a dust collector. So I should have dust collection, but not in the budget or the time or anything. But, you know, you can do that. Trying to look here. Anything else? Well, there's a lot more, but I'm just looking at my things on the side here. Okay, so then I just wanted to talk about some accessories and some tips, okay? So, some accessories for the scroll saw. Well, so, again, check out Facebook Marketplace. There's lots of great deals on scroll saws out there. Better than brand new ones, I think, but that's up to you. If you have the money to buy brand new, that's fine too. But there's lots of good deals. Some things to look for. Okay, one thing on the size of scroll saws. You know, they're anywhere from 15, 16 inch, 18 inch, 20 inch, 22 inch, 25 inch, 30 inch. That's the depth from the blade to the back, meaning that's how big a project you can make on the scroll saw. Because you have to spin your wood, you know, and depending on how deep it is, you know. Well, they keep making them bigger and bigger and bigger. And they're nice, but I don't see the point of it. I really don't. My favorite scroll saw is the 16-inch Delta. I have made large pieces, large projects on the 16-inch. You just got to be creative in turning it, and you can even turn the blade and do different. You can use a spiral blade. I don't use them, but you can. A lot of people use them. I don't really like them because it's hard to control them and they don't cut real clean. I don't know, but a lot of people use them. You can use a spiral blade, then it wouldn't matter. But even if you have to turn your project, you can do it on a small saw. I've done it. I'm just not crazy about the really large ones, but I think a 16-inch scroll saw is plenty big enough. But, you know, to have a nice tabletop, you don't need a 5-foot table. You know, this one's like 10 or 12-inch round. It's perfect. I make little stuff, you know, depending on what you make. Maybe you do some bigger things. You're going to put a big tree slab on your scroll saw. Well, maybe you want a bigger one and a bigger table then. But so a nice table. I like a removable insert so that you can look down and see the bottom blade holder. Otherwise, you got to bend down and tweak your neck and your back to put it in. But it's really nice if they have a removable. Most of them don't have removable ones anymore. I don't like them. Even the brand new Delta, I'm not crazy about because it doesn't have a removable. I like that. Good blade holders, whether it's like this kind or the thumb screw, a good blade holder for top and bottom. That'll drive you crazy if you spend a lot of time taking the blade in and out, and it's not a good one. It's nice if it has a dust blower on it. Good tensioning. If it runs smooth and quiet and low vibration is nice. If it comes with a light, that's a nice bonus, but it doesn't have to. If it comes with a stand, that's nice. And if the stand is tilted. So I'll get into that in the tips, but it's nice if the stand is tilted. So the back is a little higher than the front. Yeah, that's just some stuff to look for in a saw that I think are good. Some accessories to add to your scroll saw, okay? So I've done it different through the years. At one time I had a little cart, tiny little cart next to my scroll saw with all the accessories on it. Now I like to have my scroll saw in the window. It's right by my window in my shop, so I have sunlight coming in. So I have all my accessories on the window ledge right next to my scroll saw. But just some different things here. Well, a stand. If it doesn't come with a stand, build a stand. And I build my stands out of 2x4s and plywood. Simple, solid, cheap. Sometimes I'll put them on casters, wheels, so you can move it around. And I always angle the back. I put a 2x4 on the back of the scroll saw so that the back of the scroll saw is up. Then you're looking right down on your wood piece, on your pattern. Otherwise, you're leaning forward so much. So, and a lot of scroll saws are made like that, where the back end of the scroll saw is tipped up. So, if you build a stand, make sure you have the back of it tipped up. A light, you know, I'm sure you have lights in your shop, but an extra little light is nice, so you can move it around, so you don't have the shadows on your patterns. That's nice. Foot pedal. I have a foot pedal on my main one, because then your hands are free to do the scroll sawing. You have it on all the time when you're using it, and you use the foot pedal to turn it on and off. And then if the blade breaks or you got to stop, you can just let off on the pedal. You don't have to let go of the project. It's nice to have a foot pedal. Those are really good for a lot of different woodworking tools, really. And then just some little things that I have next to my scroll saw: a square, a little rule, a file, earplugs, tape, pencils, erasers. I have a little mini drill press, paste wax. I like to sand the top of my scroll saw and then put paste wax so it's really nice and clean and smooth. Carbon paper, you know, and hardboard, and you know, patterns, those kind of different things. Magnifier. I have a magnifier I don't really use, but it's a big magnifying light. You can get those. Safety glasses. I have bifocals that I use when I scroll saw. And then blades, a holder for your extra blades, a nail set, a little blade, a little utility blade or a little knife, a fan to blow the dust away. You could have a shop vac. Again, you know, if some of these things don't come with your scroll saw, again, build a stand, add a foot pedal. You can add a dust blower if it doesn't come with one. It should come with one. You could add a light, add a fan. Some of those things, just a lot of different things to have with your scroll saw to make it funner. Funner? I don't know if funner's a word, but I'm gonna roll with it. Okay, some of Marty's tips. Again, used saws are great. I really think you can get really good, and they're steel, and I've gotten such great deals. Clean them up a little bit, and they work great. You can fix blade holders, you can fix dust blowers and different things, and sometimes the older ones, I'm talking 20, 25-year-old saws are better than a lot of the new ones. Just my opinion, but if you like the newer ones, that's good too. If you get older than the 90s, then they're a little bit harder to work with. The blade holders and all the different things, the really old ones, but yeah, used ones are good. Start slow, take your time. It took me a long time to learn to scroll saw, but I'm still learning. Again, after 33 years, I'm still an amateur and I'm just learning, but that's fun. But take your time, you know, let the blade do the work, just push it in slow, be careful, be safe. Wear safety glasses, dust masks if you want, earplugs, that kind of stuff. Just be safe when you're using any tool. This is one of the safest tools you can use, but be safe with any tool. Oh, I didn't mention a stool. I'm on a stool right now. You can stand and scroll saw, but it's a lot more comfortable to sit on a stool. So have a stool for your scroll saw. Don't be critical of your work, and don't let other people be critical of your work. You know, you're learning, and we're all different, we're all unique, we're all individuals. So just enjoy it, have fun, be creative, and yeah, don't be critical of yourself, and don't let other people do that to you. Clear packing tape. So one of my earlier videos, I was just making a name, and it's in my playlist. You can watch it. And so if you put clear packing tape on the bottom of hardwoods, especially like maple and cherry, it makes it so it doesn't burn the wood. It cools the blade, so the blade doesn't break as easy, and it cuts nicer. It really works. You can put it on the top if you want to, but at least on the bottom. So if I'm cutting, you know, hardwoods, I'll put clear packing tape on the back. But don't use cheap tape. I used cheap tape one time in that video. I got it stuck and I had all kinds of issues, but it's funny if you want to watch that. It wasn't meant to be funny, but yeah, get the good clear packing tape. But I do that and then just peel it off when you're done, so it helps cool the blade. Think outside the box, you know, make up your own patterns. I'm always doing that. I'm making up my own patterns. Also, look for older patterns, nostalgic, antique patterns, different ones from 50 years ago, 100 years ago, 500 years ago. Old patterns, woodworking patterns, scroll saw patterns. Those are fun. I'm trying to bring back some of those. Last Christmas, I did some older things. This year, I'm going to do a few too. I got a few older patterns that I'm going to make this Christmas season. So stay tuned for that. So yeah, think outside the box. Make up your own patterns. Bring back older patterns. And again, just be creative and yeah, be yourself. When I'm doing inside cuts, basically an inside cut is where you have a pattern. I don't have anything to show you here, but there's been pictures on the, I think there's probably pictures right here. Well, this is after the fact, but I think I put pictures there. You'll know if I put pictures there. Are there pictures there? You've seen what the different things I do. Okay, like a Jesus word, or Jesus fish, or cross. They don't have inside cuts. You just do everything on the outside. But sometimes a word, or fretwork, or whatever, a portrait, different things like that, might have inside cuts, where you have to cut out parts of the wood. The way to do that is you have to take a drill press or a hand drill, drill holes in all those cuts, those inside parts. Then for each one of those, you have to disconnect the top of your blade, thread it through, rehook it up, cut that part out, and then stop saw, take the blade, disconnect the blade, and pull it out again for every single inside cut. That's why I'm not crazy about inside cuts. The most I'll do is 15 or 20. But that's how you do inside cuts. And I do inside cuts first because they're a little bit harder and take more time. Do the inside cuts and then cut out the outside, because then you have more wood to hold on to also. Things like that, yeah. So that's just some of my tips. Gosh, I think I said everything. I think that's yeah, give it a shot. Again, if you need a hobby, you need an outlet, a creative outlet, you want to maybe make a little bit of money, make gifts for people. These are wonderful machines. You know, anybody can do it, and it takes time to learn, and I'm still learning. That's fun. And so yeah, give scroll saw woodworking a try. There's a lot more to say. I mean, you know, it's like, yeah, but again, I have a scroll sawing playlist. I'll put it in the description. You can click on that, watch all my scroll sawing videos if you want, all my woodworking videos. Check out the other YouTubers. There's a lot of people out there who have really good YouTube channels. You know, all the ones I mentioned, and I missed some too. I think I've missed a few, but yeah, there's a lot of great. Artisan Pirate, he's another really good one. Check him out. Mustache Mike. Yeah, there's some really good YouTube channels out there, and there's a lot that I watched years ago and I haven't watched for a while, and I forget about them. But there's some new people too. There's some new people doing scroll saw woodworking, so check them out. Watch their videos, and a lot of them, most of them are better than me. I'm just a putz. I mean, look at me. Hey, we're gonna keep this under an hour. Okay, good deal. Anyway, yeah, I decided to do a little ramble here, talk about the scroll saw, what it can do, you know, why I think you should give it a try. I think I went over everything pretty much. You know, there's lots more to learn, but yeah, for now, that's all I have to say about that. Anyway, I'm going to get this stuff put away, edit this video, and I might make another video. There's a couple other things I want to do this afternoon, and it's almost 5 o'clock. So, yeah, we'll see. I might go for a hike, might make some dinner. We'll see. And there might be more videos to come. So, again, check out my scroll sawing and woodworking playlist. Please watch all my older videos. Again, yeah, please comment and like and share and subscribe and all that. And thanks so much for watching. And yeah, please comment and let me know, you know, your thoughts and tips and stuff. You know, I'm always learning. I don't know everything. I love to learn, so it's just fun. Anyway, live life fully. Just do what you can wherever God has you in life. Make the most of every day in the middle of all the trials and struggles of life. Just make the most of every day. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.